Hello again, beautiful beings, and welcome back to another Monday Live. I'm so excited to be here. There is a lot happening. There's a lot happening in humanity at this time. So, what better time to hop on and talk about current events? This video is going to be a really high level overview of not just the financial changes that are currently happening, but the cosmic disclosure that's being talked about, and kind of a high level overview of some of the control dynamics that are taking place and why it's happening, what we need to be aware of, how we can mitigate and navigate through this really tumultuous time in human history. So yeah, I'm really excited for this. It's the perfect time to do it. So thank you all so much for being here. Before we just freaking dive right into it, because there's so much to get through. Two announcements. One, I don't know where I'm going to be at as far as like the future of YouTube. A couple things. There's been some censorship issues with YouTube and myself recently. So you might have noticed some videos kind of disappearing and then coming back on. And I'm just getting censored and strikes and a lot of that kind of stuff. So, and that being said, I'm maybe a month and a half away from birthing a human being. So I might be transferring things over to the membership. I might not be on YouTube as much. I just don't know what that looks like. So keep in mind that I have 8 brand new videos every single month over on my membership platform. And the biggest reason to have this membership platform is to be censorship free and really not to be a slave to any sort of online social platform. And then, of course, to provide a really wonderful safe space for a community and really connecting people from all over the world. So just know that we've created that space. We're fine tuning it. It's really coming together. So check that out. And then second announcement is the recent Galactic Federation meeting that we had just a couple days ago. A lot of you are saying it is the best Galactic Federation summit yet. I think they're all pretty great, but this one was pretty freaking epic. We talked about starseed burnout. We talked about dreams and the different dream dimensions. We talked about the age of Aquarius and what exactly is happening as we're moving into this new era. We also talked about Ohio and the train derailment and all of the toxic stuff and what was really the intention behind all of that. And then we also even touched upon the Pentagon disclosing a giant alien mothership in the solar system, which is kind of badass and also a little bit of a conspiracy, and what the intention was behind that. Because every single month, I go astral travel over to a giant alien mothership that hangs out in our solar system. So it's pretty freaking wild that the Pentagon is just claiming now that this is real. Never ever would have thought in my lifetime that they would talk about that. So why did they talk about that? What is their intention? And it was really interesting, the response from the Galactic Federation. So if you want to know about those things and so much more, definitely check out the March, so it would be episode 3, 2023 Galactic Federation Summit, and really all of the other episodes that we have this year, last year, the year before. They're all activators. That's what they are. It's, yes, some relevant information of the time, but also just activating for your soul. Okay, let's get into it. So I wanted to first, as I usually do, describe what the Great Reset is, kind of just defining what it is online, for those of you who don't know. So the Great Reset is a global initiative proposed by the World Economic Forum, IROL, to address challenges faced by the world after 2020. Now, critics argue that it's actually a conspiracy to impose a new world order by the year of 2030. That's just kind of what they say online about the Great Reset. Now, a lot of the Great Reset is talking about kind of financial initiatives, and we will be covering what the hell is going on financially today, but we're also going to be covering a lot of other like collapses that are currently happening. Disclosures, exposures, collapses, shifts in the current political and global system, because it really does all come down to this Great Reset that is taking place. And one of the questions that I wanted to answer in today's video, and we're going to get to that at the end, is why is this agenda? Why is this conspiracy? Why is this initiative so confusing? Why do we have half the people out there, and probably more than half, thinking that this is the best thing since sliced bread to have this global reset initiative happening by 2030, and it's going to really improve everything? And then why do we have the other half, probably a much smaller minority, thinking this is bad and we really need to be aware of this? So what is really going on? Why is there so much confusion and division around this topic? And I do think I have a bit of a, maybe not an answer, but definitely a good perspective so that you're informed. That's really my intention for today, is to inform you about where we're at a systemic level in 2023, and give you the proper knowledge to navigate these systemic changes. Okay. So, what I believe is happening right now, the intention of those in power, you could call them the shadow government, the cabal, the elites, you could call them the top 1%, you could call them politicians. There's so many different names for these people. Let's just say that these are the intentions of the people in power. One is to destabilize foundations of society. To destabilize the foundations of society. 2, to create fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And 3, to ultimately gain access to more control. This is what they've always kind of had in mind as an intention, and those intentions have never been more clear than they are right now. And when I'm talking about destabilizing the foundations of society, we're talking about all of the foundations of society, okay? So why 2020? Why now? Why are we all of a sudden, really especially since 2020, seeing an upkick in their power, an upkick in their control, an upkick in their need to really push us down, to control us, to create mandates? Why? Why now? Here are a couple of points that I've observed. The Earth's vibration is shifting. Whether you want to call it spiritual awakening or some sort of like woo-woo or whatever, we can actually measure this by science, okay? The Earth's vibration is shifting. The electromagnetic frequency of the Earth is changing, and we are measuring that. As a matter of fact, they're measuring a pole shift that we're going through right now, which is pretty wild because I was mentioning that many, many years ago. Second, why now? Okay. They have known about this energy shift, this vibrational influx. They have known about this for a while, they being the ones in power or the ones in control. Ultimately, from my perspective, and take it or leave it as always, they really want to suppress the awakening. They want to suppress this. At the end of the day, they're scared. I've said this before, but I'll say it again. They are scared. And a big reason why they're scared is because we have the numbers, right? Going back to them being the top 1%. Yeah, they've got 1% of, the 1% have the 99% of the wealth, which means that they have the power, which means that they have the political control, which means that they have the mass media control and the lobbying and all of that. The top 1% really control 99, 98% of what's going on systemically here. Here's the problem. The problem is, for them, is that we are the 99%, and that if we were to start to question everything, which is really a form of awakening to what's happening, they no longer have the power, they no longer have the control, because we have the numbers. And that's why they're scared. And they have been scared for quite some time that they're going to lose this control. This is why they've planned 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, and beyond. This is why they have this whole plan that they're rolling out until 2030. And that's when they want to essentially have all of their plans in action, is by 2030. So just because we have the numbers doesn't mean that we're winning. We need the awareness. We need the awareness at a mass level. And we don't have that at a mass level. There's a very small community. It's great that we have thousands of people all over the world gathering here to get this information, but it's still not enough. We need millions, if not billions, of people to really turn around and question things. So let's go over the 4 major systemic changes that are taking place right now as we speak. And we are going to continue to see these changes into 2023, into 2024, and even beyond. Number 1 is destabilizing financial markets. A lot of financial influencers have mentioned that today, like literally today, March 13th, 2023, is one of the biggest potentially financial collapse days, potential to have the biggest financial collapse on history. We're days away from something like this. And I've been mentioning this for a while, whether you want to call it the Great Recession. I think we've already been in a recession. Talk about inflation. Part of this video was going to deep dive into all of the financial shifts, and then I really wanted to keep it high level because there's a lot of things happening right now at this time financially, and it's not just here in America, it's happening all over the planet. But that's one of the biggest things that are happening. Destabilizing financial markets. Why are they doing this? Why are they choosing, they being the ones in power, why are they choosing to destabilize the financial markets that they created in the first place? Here's what I think. To gain control of a new currency system. I put out a video a couple weeks ago on cryptocurrency and the future. If you're into this world, if you haven't already seen that video, please go ahead and watch it. Everything that I was talking about, everything that I was predicting in that video literally came to be, literally came true, just weeks later, okay? It is so clear, their plan to destabilize the current financial system so that everyone is so scared, so that they're like, hey, we got a great solution. You know all that money we've been printing? Don't worry about that. We'll just move everything over to this brand new cryptocurrency system and you'll feel a lot better because it's regulated. Yeah, so you can throw away your paper money. You can throw away your gold and silver. We got your back. Now, in the cryptocurrency video, I was talking about the pros and cons of cryptocurrency. And I just don't think that the government having that control is a good thing. But we already can agree upon that. All right. So once again, destabilizing the financial markets to ultimately gain control of a new currency system in like a whole other way. And I'm not even going to deep dive into that, but I kind of already did in that crypto video. Okay. The second thing that's really happening right now, being rolled out in front of our faces all around the world, is distraction. Now, we know that this has always been a tactic and a technique. And of course, we saw the biggest world distraction ever back in 2020. Why are they choosing to distract the people of the planet? Essentially, people are fearful and don't pay attention. When you're in fear, when you're in doubt, when you're in uncertainty, you're You're looking for any semblance of stability. You're looking for any semblance of truth. And we've all been indoctrinated to believe that, mass media and news media and these are politicians are reliable sources of truth, right? So when people of the planet get fearful, they turn a lot of their power, a lot of their focus, a lot of their attention to politicians, to talking heads, to the puppets that have been set up in society. That's why they're creating distraction. And of course, they're also creating distraction not just to create fear, but to get away with a lot of shit. It's like, oh, look over here. Oh, this is shiny object over here, distraction over here, fear over here. And then they go ahead and they pass a bunch of bills or mandates that no one is actually paying attention to. At least the majority isn't. A really good example of a recent distraction technique, and there have been many, especially since 2020, is Ohio, right? There was a huge train kind of cataclysm that happened in Ohio, and what a great distraction. And if you want to know more about the Ohio train derailment, we talked to the Galactic Federation just a couple days ago about that and why that was a distraction and what that plan really was. The third thing that's taking place right now on the planet is taking away our rights, right? And once again, this is part of their purpose or reason for distracting us, is to pass bills or mandates or whatnot, taking away our rights. And we've seen this. I'm not even going to bring up a couple of the things that they've done recently. It's just going to create a whole lot of distraction in the comments. So I'll leave it there. But yeah, the third thing that they're doing is really trying to take away our rights. And why? Why are they trying to take away our rights? Pretty obvious, but to further create totalitarian control. Obviously. And the fourth thing that's really happening right now on planet Earth that we need to be aware of is they are controlling the disclosure narrative. And by disclosure, I'm talking about, yes, UFO alien disclosure, which is a really fascinating new development. Love watching these things unfold. They are really seriously trying hard to control the disclosure narrative. Why? Why? And I got this information just this weekend from the GFL. They're trying to control the disclosure narrative to get ahead of the truth bombs that are to come. They are trying to confuse people, and they're also trying to confuse humanity's sense of what is real. And we can see a lot of this confusion coming out in the AI technology that's happening as well. It's a very confusing time of like, what is real? What is real anymore? And please watch my video that I just did recently. I think it's called Exiting the Matrix, right? AI and simulation. Oh, such a great video. Such a great video. Okay, please watch that. But they know that UFO, cosmic disclosure, whatever you want to call it, they know that it's coming. And when it does come, it could be so beautiful and so peaceful and so expanding and activating to humanity. If cosmic disclosure happened in the right way, it would wake everyone up. It would make everyone question what God is. It would make everyone expand their idea of the universe, of planet Earth, of who and what human beings are, and who and what they are, and why they've been interacting with humans. It would force people to question everything. They don't want that. They don't want us waking up and questioning everything. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to get ahead of the UFO cosmic disclosure narrative by planting little seeds and putting it out there so that they are the source of the information, not looking up in the sky, not having your own disclosure or dreams or doing your own research. They want to control that narrative so that what? They create distraction, a false sense of reality, fear, doubt, insecurity, and now it's all of a sudden a scary thing. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they're doing up there. We don't have the technology to fight them, that kind of stuff. So we're going to continue to see this agenda play out in the next year, 2 years, 5 years, but it's something to really seriously be aware of, okay? Okay, great. And yes, I wanted to really get into why there is so much confusion around the Great Reset. Like I was mentioning before, we've got a portion of people thinking this is a really great thing, a portion of people thinking this is going to be really awful and we need to be aware of this. And I really want to get into that. Before I do, I just want to reiterate some of the things. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Check out the most recent Galactic Federation Summit and all of the other ones. They're fantastic. And if you want more content like this, if you want meditations, coaching calls, Q&As on a monthly basis, then definitely check out the Cosmic Society membership. It's pretty epic. So why? Why is there still so much confusion? Change needs to happen to better humanity. And I'm going to repeat that. Change needs to happen to better humanity. They are trying to mitigate the impact of this change, of this great awakening, by controlling the narrative and projecting fear. They're trying to control the cosmic disclosure. They're trying to control financial reset. They're trying to control the exposure of corruption. They're trying to control the changing of power dynamics. All of these things need to happen no matter what. Change needs to happen. We should not be scared of this. And yes, they have the power to create negative change around all of these systems on planet Earth. So how this change happens, it's up to us. It's up to the 99%. And I think we've all been indoctrinated, we've all been programmed to believe that we're not good enough. We're not in positions of power. We're not politicians. And if you were, you'd be even more stuck than you are now. But how can we create global change? Who am I? I'm just one person. I'm just in my living room researching and questioning. How do we create that change in a positive way? Remember, and this is quantum physics, okay? That our focus of what we fear will happen is creating what is happening. And I'm going to repeat that. Our focus of what we fear will happen is creating what is happening. The powers that be cannot create this collective reality. They can't. You need to know this. The powers that be cannot create collective reality. They cannot. They do not have enough of them. They do not have enough focus. But what they can and have and will do is create the container, this bubble that humanity is in, to convince humanity that they should be fearful. And by convincing us, propagating us, manipulating us, programming us from day one, that we need to be fearful, that we are in lack, that we're not good enough, that we don't have the power to change anything, that we are stuck in the system, we perpetuate that reality for the collective. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what generation you're in. I don't care what gender you are. I don't care where you live in the world. This is the same programming that has been laid out for each and every one of us. To feel like we're not good enough, to feel like we're stuck. By them creating the container to convince us that we're not powerful, we are then creating the reality that we're not powerful. They are creating the collective reality by creating the container for us to think a certain way, to act a certain way, and to perpetuate this illusionary reality around us. It has always been up to us how this change unfolds, how this change takes place. So, please, from the bottom of my heart, stop feeding the matrix. Right? Stop it. It's time to wake up and ask yourself, what is the best that could happen for the collective today? What's the best that could happen? The systems are collapsing. We've known this. We know this. I've been personally talking about the collapse of the systems for 10 plus years. It has to happen. It is happening. We should have never relied on the systems because they have to collapse. But what takes their place? That is up to us. So stop focusing on the corruption, stop focusing on the fear, and start to focus on the best possible solutions moving forward. What is the best that could happen for the collective today? Shift your mindset, shift your perception, shift your focus, shift the timeline of the entire collective. It is up to you. You have the power. And it's time to start acting like it. Once again, like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and for this empowering message. We all need to hear it and get reminded today. Yeah, shit's happening, and I'm freaking excited for it because I've been prepared for it for a while. All right, sending you all so much love on this epic Monday. Keep up the good work, and as always, I will see you in the New Earth timeline. Bye for now.